there's no reason not to do that. Some people asked a question on whether that was compressed or maximized inside of BD. I don't know what they do for their upload process. I'm assuming it's compressing or doing something. I know it always unless you put an image that's a lot larger than you're putting in there, when it shrinks it. If it's the exact same size that it's replicating on the site, it does look a little fuzzy. So there's some compression going on there. I don't know the process, and I don't think they ever responded back to that comment. So there's something going on just as a normal use for your directory. Obviously, the bigger the image, the more bandwidth it's going to take, the more storage it's going to take. But I'd always set your images a little bit larger than it's going to display on the site, because then when you upload that larger image, when it shrinks it down, it's going to be a little bit sharper. People will notice this for the image on the top of their actual directory. If you just put the smallest one that's going to fit in the spot there, sometimes it does look a little fuzzy when you upload it or add it on there. So I always recommend making the image a little bit bigger than the one that shrinks it down to, and it's a little bit more clear. So, and then actually, Scott, this is kind of off subject, and I don't want to put you on the spot there, but do you want to talk about the Facebook, I guess, sizing and stuff like that? We don't need to necessarily go over what you did to your website, but just kind of talk to everybody about why it's important or what it does, or just the sizing for that. So if they're adding images onto their photos or their event posts or whatever, what size or how they should do that, or why it's important.
Sure. Impromptu Facebook training. Here we go. So just for background, one of the things that I did before I decided to rebuild my directory that's a decade old was I teach people how to use social media, because I've been using it for I was one of the first, I think, 5,000 groups or pages to be formed on Facebook 15 years ago, and I've been fighting Mark Zuckerberg ever since, every change they make. So one of the biggest issues that I've always found is with the images that get carried with a link when either you post a link to Facebook or a user of your website posts a link to the Facebook, and it's called a link post. You want to give me a screen sharing ability here, Ryan, and I can go through it real quick.
Yeah. Let me see if I can do that.
And the key is the data behind it basically shows that with Facebook, a large rectangular image. So I got screen share now. Yeah. A large rectangular image will be clicked on people a lot more frequently than a small little square one. So I'll give you an example right now. Let me.
Should just hit the plus button up there, and it should be share screen if you have it.
Where we go? Let's see here. Up on the I've got pause, stop recording. Oh, here we go. Plus share screen. Here we go. Wow. Is it working?
Yep.
All right. So there's this website, or the link that you can go to. It's called a Facebook sharing debugger. Here's the website right there, the list. And if you go to any Facebook page, I'll go to my consulting website real quick. Geez, Frank, who do I call to complain about this thing being so slow?
Yeah, really. Come on, I'm going. I'm out of here.
I'll add it in the chat there.
Oh, wait. I want to copy that logo with a screenshot. Hold on. I got it.
So here's my website that I have, and here's the image that I've got. It's a 1200 by 628 image, 1.9 to 1 size, and it obviously pulls the whole thing. So that's a good thing. You want people to see the full image. You want them to see the image or the description and everything down below. And you get a good image, and you get a good link to share with Facebook. So then if you look at another page, let's see. Ryan, can I pick on you and pick one of your pages?
Sure.
God, no. Okay, sure.
So this is a random test here.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Let's go to food and drink. So the way that most BD sites are set up, it appears anyway, is that logos and profile photos are square. They're 200 by 200 because that's the image that's set on the front end, and that's the image that you use. The problem with a square image is that Facebook doesn't really like square images with links. So I'm just going to copy this link location here, and let's see how Facebook likes that image and how it would share it if somebody shared it. So it takes that square and it chops it. So if you can see here, it's got the full thing here, but because it's a square and Facebook likes rectangular images, that chops off the top and the bottom and you lose part of it.
Wow. So
the key here is getting Facebook to read an image first that's rectangular instead of square. So here's the workaround that I did, and I'll just go around and actually, I don't want to use mine. What the heck?
But this has nothing to do with putting a picture on a Facebook post, does it? It's something different.
No, when you post a picture and you're just posting a photo, then you're just posting a photo and you would put the image or the link in the text. The reality is when you post a photo and put the link in the text, only about 10% of people actually click on the link in the text versus 100% who will click on the image, right. Because the image isn't clickable. So here's what we did at this. So there's a couple of different tracks here. So here's one track called Tri-State Speedway, and you'll see what gets pulled here. This is one that I haven't messed with yet. Oh, wrong one. Copy. Oh. Why is it not saving that? Jesus. Copy.
There you go.
So that link hasn't been shared yet, so it's new for Facebook looking at it. So this is how Facebook is going to see that link. So first of all, it's going to grab it. It's not even going to look for an image at all because it's not like right there. So it literally just grabs the descriptor.
Wow.
If I click scrape again, it grabs the image awaiting from the track, and that is that's a square image. It's a 250 by 250 image that I've got on there. Okay, so that's one. In my mind, that's ineffective for social media because when I share a link to Facebook and it looks like that, people are less inclined to look at it. And if it's on mobile, it's even smaller. So
I guess for mine, just real quick, I guess it was good that it actually was the bigger image, right? It was just shrunk down, which I always put the logo in the middle, so it usually doesn't matter. But so it was showing the bigger one. I guess the second one for mine, I guess that it's at least somebody had already shared it, right? Because it just showed up without having to do anything. So
yeah, so it did.
Do they have statistics on this? Because I just can't believe that the shape of an image matters if someone's going to click on it.
I do mine very differently, Frank. I do everything in Canva. So when I do a Facebook post, an Instagram, a Pinterest, a Twitter, and LinkedIn, they're all different sizes. So I'm able to resize everything. So when I'm on Instagram, I'm posting the same ad that I've sized for Instagram. When I'm on, I never let the preview link appear. I exit out and I put my own image on every post in the correct.
Yeah, I guess to answer your question, Frank, it's not as dynamic on all those systems as you think. They all have their 1080 by 1080 or 1200 by.
No, but that's not my question. Let's say you got let's say you got two images. They're the same image. And they're all displaying everything properly. Although one's rectangular, one's square. There's a psychological basis for which one somebody's going to click on.
People. So here's the thing, Frank, is when people are scrolling, because 60% of or 70% of the traffic on Facebook is mobile. When people are scrolling through their feed, if they come to a link like this, it looks like a link. Okay.
Right.
When they get to the one that I had previously that had the top and the bottom one.
Right.
See here, they're scrolling through. They see this. They think it's a picture first, so they can click on the picture, and they're more likely to click on the picture when it doesn't look like it's necessarily a link.
Well, I think my problem is I don't spend that much time on mobile. I'm a desktop guy,
Yeah. So that's the difference. And so anyway, let me just show you guys what I did to kind of overcome this issue. So there's another Tri-State Speedway that I built, and they're going to be a higher level member. And what you'll notice here is they do not have this awaiting image from track here. What I did is I rearranged, and I told people to put their logo in the profile cover photo image, and I told them to put a track image in the profile logo spot, and then Ryan renamed them for me. So here's what happens with this now. So we'll grab this link, and you'll see what it looks like.
And then you can probably show them what the page actually looks like, renders too.
Yeah,
I really want to see.
And so that's what it looks like there. So people scroll down, they see the track, Tri-State Speedway, click to learn more about Tri-State Speedway, 3/8 mile oval. So let me see if I can log in here. And I'll get to that, and I'll show you exactly how I rearranged it.
And so while he's setting that up, I just throw it for everybody on the program. A lot of times in the BD system too, it's very flexible. A lot of times you don't have to pay customization to do stuff. You can kind of do what they call workarounds. They're very good at throwing them out there too. But a lot of times there's maybe not a simple solution, but there is a possible solution to solve the issue. It's always better to have stuff native how you want it, but a lot of things you can re-wicker, and so this is just an example of one of those.
And Scott, you said something that also confused me. You said both the profile photos and the logo images are 200 by 200.
So I have the image size that on Ryan's page. Are they 200 by 200 or 250 by 250, Ryan?
Mine are 200 by 200 set. I upload normally larger than that, like I said, because that's the minimum I think I have it set at. So 200 by 200, okay. That's the default. And you don't have to talk about this. I'll talk about this when you're done, Scott. There's image settings inside of your BD directory, and it normally defaults to the 200 by 200. Yeah, well, but you can change that, which obviously Scott did. It's 600. Yeah. You have 600 by. So right. There you go.
So what I did is I took the 1200 by 628 that Facebook likes. They won't let you make this any more than I think 1040 is the max you can set this to. So I just decreased it by a multiple and cut it in half. So I made it 600 by 312.
Right.
And then what I did was, this used to say profile logo, and I made it profile image because I don't want to track putting their logo in the spot. And here's why. And this is all about, and Deborah, you had mentioned, you do a lot in Canva and you make ads and you do all that stuff. So this specifically is important when you're doing link posts to your page. I'm a big believer in boosting posts as opposed to creating ads because you get the native audience as well as the paid audience, as opposed to when you do an ad. So my number one goal is making sure that my link posts appear as vibrant and friendly as possible for people. So I want an image like that as opposed to a logo. And here's why, because Facebook will not let me boost a post that has a large percentage of text in the image.
Right.
Or they'll let me boost it, but then they'll threaten me that they'll throttle it back and they won't show it to a lot of people. So the way I overcame it simply is I had Ryan change this. Instead of saying profile logo, it says profile image. And then down here I have track logo, and obviously then that goes up above the track. So I'm just kind of training them to, and this isn't live yet, obviously, but I'm training them to put their logo in one spot and an image in another, so that so that the pictures come up as the directories. I don't necessarily care that their logo is here because their name is here. So that's how I overcame that, because it's just not easy to rejiggle the coding and have the Open Graph coding call the profile logo or the profile image or whatever. So anyway, so that's what I did to make that work a little bit better, and and I think it'll be a good fix going forward, because the tracks will be indicated to upload a picture here and upload your logo here. So
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So you've done boosting and you've also done Facebook ads, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I'm paying my money, what business is it of them how much text is in my ad?
It matters to Facebook, and here's why. So all of Facebook's data that they have done, and this is the Mark Zuckerberg world that I hate. They've decided that anything with more than a certain percentage or ratio of text in it, that people are less likely to click on. And obviously in Facebook's world, they're a media channel. So they want people to stay on for as long as possible and not go away. Their statistics have told them that the more text in an image, the less engaging people feel about it. So whether it's a paid ad or not, you will get a warning if you have too much text. Now, here's a good thing. There is an image checker that you can use, and you can upload any image to this engine, and it will tell you whether or not.
Now you can share your screen again. I thought you were hunting to try to figure out where to turn that off, so I just switched to.
I just did a full infographic ad with Facebook, and I didn't get a warning at all. There wasn't an image at all.
No, you're good, Scott. I'm sharing it again. So.
Oh, okay. Deborah, it is absolutely indiscriminate in how they warn you or not, because it's all algorithm based, and a lot of times when they say images with text in them, there is a disclaimer or something in their terms of service that say if it's a brochure or if some sort of a like an event flyer or whatever, that sometimes they look at that and they say, okay, we don't throttle those back because it's clear what it is.
Okay,
but if it's
infographics, that would make sense then.
Yeah. So if it looks like a flyer or if it looks like a calendar, because I worked at a concert venue, and we would put up our ad mats that we get from the acts, and some of them would make it through okay, but others that were really kind of artistic with glitzy text in some places and really cartoonish stuff, but then flat text in other areas, those would get flagged because Facebook wouldn't see it. Now, here's the interesting thing, and again, this is a text overlay button. You can literally upload any picture here. And then I'll grab that link and I'll put it in the text. But let me look at some of the images here. Where should I go here? Desktop. Oh, I'm on the wrong computer. This is why this isn't working. I'm on my laptop. Downloads. Let's see here. So here's an image that I just picked out of the random. You're unable to review your image. Well, for some reason it's not working. But anyway, so this particular link here, you can put images up here, and it will.
Could you put that in chat, please?
Yep, I'm going to copy it right now.
I already got it in there. So.
Oh, do you? And literally, Facebook will tell you, as you can see right there, image text okay, image text low, medium, or high. Now,
well, wait. It's telling you what you can do or what it's seeing.
This is when it does read the image. The image will then have a rating assigned to it in the image in the picture here. Let me just see here. Let me find one and I can show you exactly. Upload. Where's all my?
It's nice they have these tools. I'll tell you that.
Let's see here.
This is great training from Scott. I apologize. I didn't mean for you to go into that much detail. I appreciate the training on there. I was kind of impromptu today, so
No worries.
I apologize and appreciate it all at the same time. So.
Well, it's just funny how it's so different because LinkedIn's the opposite. They don't like you putting links in your text. So we've been putting our text in our photos.
Really?
Yeah, they're the opposite. If you put I guess you get less visibility if you put a link, especially. So we no longer put our link to our website in our text.
You know what? I noticed that with LinkedIn a week ago when I posted a link to my website, and it didn't pull the image. It used to pull the image. It used to pull the logo at least.
Yeah, they don't like links. I read it the other day, and I thought, okay, I'm taking the links all out, and I just put it in my image, just grab the image.
Wow. So for some reason, it looks like Facebook is just not liking uploading images right now. But anyway, so when you see these warnings come across your images, here's what to know about that. If you're saying you want to spend $50 on an ad, and it's a targeted audience, and Facebook has an overabundance of people who want to target that same audience, if your image falls in one of these categories here, it will likely not run because they've got enough money to cover enough ad requests to cover the inventory with higher quality, what they determine are higher quality images, and get all the money that they can selling all the impressions that they have. If there's not a lot of demand for the specific audience that you're looking after, your ads will run just fine. Imagine that, right?
How convenient.
So here's a question for you. I find that I'm getting way more engagement on Instagram. So I'm not going to Facebook. I'm doing all of it: Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. But if I change the image sizes on my site, how will that affect me now with Instagram, who prefers the square image?
Well, because Instagram doesn't pull link posts anyway. So in Instagram, you're literally posting a picture.
Right.
So when you're posting a photo to Facebook, it really doesn't matter what size it is. If it's way too tall, it'll crop it a little bit. But if you're just posting a photo, you're posting a photo. And obviously, like you said, Instagram likes square.
One of the things that you have to watch out for, and I think Deborah knows this, and Frank alluded to it earlier. If you have any of those solutions that kind of cross post based off from things, unless it's a dynamic system that either allows you to upload a separate image type for a particular platform, or does something to it, oftentimes you'll see it where you post the square on Instagram, it then reposts it to your Facebook group or whatever. But because it's square, we're back into what Scott had originally talked about, where now it crops it down. It looks good on Instagram, but when it pulls into Twitter or Facebook, then it looks bad. So just be aware of that. You may have to either use a service that makes the multiple images, so you have a different version and do them individually, or if you're using one of those reposting systems that it either dynamically changes it or allows you to upload a separate image when it posts for each one. So
yeah, I use Lately Social because they let you post to all platforms, including LinkedIn, whereas Later doesn't. But I do have to make an individual image for each post type.
Yep.
So I'm trying to pull up a PowerPoint here to show you a specific example of one in the training that I do. But it is really interesting, and it's also important to know, to have an image assigned appropriately, because a lot of times. Like I said, it's in the OG coding. It's called, it's all down here. It's based on the raw tags we constructed the following open graph properties, to view to learn more about the API Explorer and things like that. But it's open graph coding is what you want with, these images and these titles and all that other stuff. So that's what Facebook reads, when it sees things and it makes priorities. So let me just show you, let's see here if I can find one of my trainings that I did. bear with me just a quick second here. I'm just going to put this in view mode, and then I'll be able to show you even more specifically. I think I stopped it from opening.
All right. Well, hey Scott, while you do that, I'm going to stop.
There it is.
I'm going to stop your sharing real quick. I'm just going to show something off my screen, and then I'll give it back to you in a second.
Right.
So this is what Deborah was talking about, and I'll actually present on this in a couple of weeks as an offering as well. But this one's a good solution that kind of solves that problem that she mentioned. It's called RelayThat.com. But here's just an example of what this system does. It basically has branding solutions where you can do a particular, image branding and stuff like that. And then with one click, based on you basically upload the image once, you put the text in there, and you can, whatever you make in this system, it can one click resize and dynamically do all of your different designs with just a click of a button. So there's
that's awesome.
There's no, I'm going to make this for Facebook. I'm going to drag this over there. Okay, great. New template for a side banner. Okay, let me paste that image back in there again. I got to add normally you do all of these individually. And so this one, you basically brand it. You say, I want that image. I want that text subtitle. Here's my icon. And you one click, it just spits out every single one of these as a file set that you can then use for whatever one you're using.
Do you not have to tweak them? Because even in Canva, you have to tweak it a little bit after that because it moves things around where you might not want it.
Yeah, Deborah, are you familiar with Crello?
Pardon?
You're familiar with Crello?
Trello?
Crello. It's like the Canva replacer.
You mean T as in Tom? Trello?
No, Crello.
Crello. Okay, yeah. No, I have not.
Yeah, and Frank, that's gonna be that week. I'm gonna talk Crello and this one.
Yeah, because Crello, I think you can pretty much do along the same lines as what Ryan was just talking about. It's like an upgraded Canva.
Okay, perfect.
But you can see
Canva a lot too.
Yeah. So anyway, you can see the I think they used to have different examples on here. I'll do a walkthrough here, but basically what it does, you can do different brands or whatever that you have. And so you can actually tweak stuff, and it kind of moves stuff into the white spot or in the area, and it just kind of dynamically moves that. But yeah, you can move stuff back around. Like if you wanted that, centered, you can move that over, but it kind of dynamically does that automatically for you.
That's cool.
And you really need to do it because we did some Twitter posts the other day using our Facebook photos, and it literally cut off the main part of I call them ads, but it's our image. We were saying looking for. So it cut all the text off because Twitter shows it in a much longer horizontal image. So yeah, that kind of made us realize that, okay, we have to go edit all of our social media and start. It's a little bit more work. I think the first person I'll be hiring is a social media person. But it does make your images look so much better on each platform if you put them in the right sizes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we'll go over that one a little bit later. All right, Scott, I'll give it. You can go ahead and stank it back. I'll turn mine off.
Yeah, I found the. Are you guys seeing this now? The soccer picture?
No, I think you may have to share again. I took it off so I could share on mine. So.
All right. Share screen. Okay. All right. So this is an exact example of let's see, from current slide. So this is an image that U.S. Soccer shared last year. They shared it on Facebook. It was, American Outlaws Here for the Future. Sorry about that, guys. I think I ended that. So this is an image that they shared on Facebook.
This is loading there, Scott. I'm not sure.
Oh, can you? No, it's just the one thing there. Can you see this image?
No, it just says screen loading. I'm not sure why. Can everybody else see it or
no?
Oh, that's weird. It's a PowerPoint. Oh, you know why? Maybe it's because it's not sharing the PowerPoint presentation part. Yeah, let's see here. Connection. Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It does that little presentation screen and then the other. Oh,
here we go. You know what? I had chosen it as you know what? It's just not showing the presentation anyway.
Okay.
But oh, here we go. Sure.
You can just hold up on your screen, but
here we go. There we go. You see it now?
Yep.
All right. So slideshow from current slide. So this is an image that U.S. Soccer had shared on Facebook, and when they did on Facebook, they also clicked to have it shared to their Instagram account at the same time. Well,
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, they didn't crop it because this is where, and Deborah, like you had mentioned, Instagram likes squares. Well, this is what Instagram did with it. It's like, yeah, what are you thinking here?
That's exactly what happens between all the platforms if you don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that key example too. And then the other thing that I'll just show you guys really quick, because this is kind of a funny thing. Funny like a clown. Let's see here. Let me find this one. Dr. Seuss. Anybody like Dr. Seuss? Farmers Insurance. Where is it?
Of course I do. Of living in a shoe, 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish. Oh.
Here we go. This is a fun one. From current slide. All right. So you're seeing the presentation now?
Yep. Well, I mean, we're seeing slide 10 or tip 10 then.
Yeah. So connecting PowerPoint. All righty, come on, baby.
That's why a lot of these auto posters don't really work, because they're misleading, because you can't just give one image and then say, yeah, press a button, and they post it to everything, because it's only going to look good on one of them.
That's right.
Now, are you guys seeing this page here, that farmers that I went to for farmers?
Nope.
All right. So yeah, this is where I don't go sharing back and forth. Anyway, so let me just go back to the presentation because it's.
Oh, we're on there.
So anyway, so the interesting thing is that, you know, this was a Dr. Farmer's example, or a Dr. Seuss thing that farmers did, and it's like, hey, this is a great looking screenshot video, what have you, or even up here is really good. The issue was when people actually went to that image and it was shared, the people from Farmers Insurance don't know what the hell they're doing, and I will show you exactly.
I don't know if we're on the right screen. All I'm seeing is the back end there, simple tip number 10. That's what I'm seeing on the screen. So
yeah, I'm trying to get away from that right now. And
okay, I don't know.
I'm seeing the Dr. Seuss to the right.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let me go share screen again. Allow. All right, now you're looking at my screen. I got this. So, you know, Farmers Insurance, this is an exact example of how sometimes people don't realize what their website is sharing. Now, last time I checked this with the debugger, it was really messed up. It's been a little bit, so maybe they might have fixed it by now.
Probably not.
Oh, they actually have a picture there now. It used to pull up just like half of the farmers. It was the farmers logo, but it literally just had the ARME in the middle of it. And it was like, what the hell? You know, somebody's managing a multi-billion-dollar website, and they didn't even know what the hell they were doing. Right. So that's what makes it important to be aware of, you know, what size image is being pulled from your link. And then, you know, use this debugger link to check every link you have that you're going to share. And again, this is related to link posts specifically, not to sharing images, because that's a different ballgame. But if you're going to be boosting a post, make sure it's got a rectangular image on it, or boosting a link post. Be sure it's got a rectangular image on it, because it makes all the difference in the world.
So here's a question: why isn't BD incorporating this if they know about this?
I actually initiated that conversation with BD a couple days ago.
Okay. It just seems like it makes more sense for them to advise all of us site owners, this is the size you should be using, and put the templates there, rather than
they do have the sizes in there. The real thing is they just need to change the default allowances, because then you could you know, change the size that you want in there. It's blocked out. So
yeah, I'm just going to give that back to Ryan. I'm going to give that back to you, Ryan. So okay. When we figured this out, Deborah, basically what we did, you know, I was asking Ryan, I'm like, how do I get this to do this? I posed the question in the larger group. Yakin Shah actually acknowledged that, yeah, you can just recode it in the back end. So it pulls the right image, because I've gone back and forth with BD Ticket to ask them if I can prioritize the image photo first. And they said it would have to be a private development thing. So long story short, Jason actually acknowledged the post in the group and said, hey, this might be something we might have to put on our development screen. So hopefully within the next couple 3 weeks, we'll be able to get them to see it as a value, because it really is a big value to make sure the right size rectangular image is pulled. The interesting thing is, Ryan, I actually pulled a lot of it. Really has to do with the size image your client uploads too, because Ryan, there was a client that you have on your website. It was like Pizza Kitchen or something. It's a let's see here. Let me find it. It was I can't see it on your website right now, but it's like a red brick logo with just the name and diagonal across it. And I put that in, and it, because their logo is slightly rectangular, it did upload it as a large rectangular image, because it takes the root image on the drive. It doesn't take a 200 by 200 crop. It takes the root image. So if they uploaded a rectangular image, then it does it. But it's all out of proportion, and it's chopped off because it's too wide. Anyway.
Yeah, I do the opposite. I send mine a template so that they can put their image, because for the rectangular logos, it looks better, I find, in their profile if they plop it into a square image for us to upload to the system. Yeah,
because it literally it fits it in, rather than the system forcing it into a square and moving it up or down or filling in the background or what have you. You're right.
All right, Ryan, when you move on to my project, go first to the design settings and the site standard images, because I think I may have either I don't want to say that I resized it wrong, because I think I worked from the dimensions that they've given, but my stuff does not match what Scott was talking about.
Well, no, because he changed his. So yours is probably default to whatever. Yours is set at 200 by 200.
Yeah, that's the default. I changed it.
Only one of the two is. I think the other is like 200 by 260 or something.
That's the profile photo. So that's in a 3:4 ratio layout, not a 1:1.
Where does that profile photo show up, Ryan?
So the question is, and I'm just going to share my screen. We'll move on to Frank's thing. We'll do the tag cloud thing right now. So so Frank's asked, and this is where we're at before in the developer's image settings. These are the two that he changed. Is 200 by 200. You notice the profile photo, it gives you an option for a 1:1 or a 3:4. It automatically, for some reason, this is open for the logo, because it kind of just doesn't know whether you want to do square, oblong, rectangular, whatever. It gives you an open option to change this one. This one's locked in at the 3:4 or 1:1, so you can do square or the 3:4. Because basically, this profile photo, and if we go to anybody's thing, you can do this on yours. Just go to the
screen not sharing.
Yeah, mine is it either. Screen loading.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Geez, it's slow.
No, I thought I clicked off from. I guess I clicked on the screen. I didn't hit share. So let me go back to that real quick again. So it's in the developers image settings. And so this is the logo stuff. It's set up at 200 by 200. This is just what I talked about. It's open. The profile photo is set at a 1:1 or 3:4, because this profile is, and I'm going to the general settings, and this is just where your default is. Normally a visual here. You notice the default member photo normally is like a headshot, right? Well, this is just basically like your school photo, right, with your head shot, and they're always set up like a vertical like that in the 3:4 aspect, as opposed to the logo, which is normally a 200 by 200 for the search results. So that's where that's at. It's normally a 3:4 vertical. And then Scott's question is, when does that show up? So if you guys go to your website and you hit the search, there's going to be two potential options that you see on the search results. So normally you're only going to see one, because it's set up as a business directory, or it's set up as a profile. So there's Frank's nice face there. You notice his is the profile, right? So that's the 3 to 4. All the other ones that are businesses are set up with the square. So the only time that shows up on the search results, and I'll show you where that's at, and I'm just going to log in as any random member here because it doesn't really matter, but I'll show you where the setting is at that does that. When they log in as a particular member, it's going to be that first drop down in the contact details that is going to set that display. So for contact details, there's going to be a pull down. Normally, I think this defaults to let me find one. That was a community account. I apologize. That's like the one that has it turned off. Here you go. So there's going to be an option in that first column, and that's the individual or the company selection. And so if you choose company, it's going to use that 200 by 200, that one setting. If you choose personal or individual, then that is the profile photo. And that box right there determines on which photo it shows. So that's the company photo. But now if I click personal or individual, now whatever I upload in the profile photo is one that's going to show on the front end as opposed to the profile logo.
So I see what I did wrong was I put bad text on there. That shouldn't say that.
Please upload your listing photo. Well, I mean that it's a photo, but it's a logo. I mean, I think it's still.
Yeah, but that's not the one on the right is the logo.
Right, but this just says please upload your listing photo. It doesn't say logo.
No, I'm saying, but oh yeah, photo because that's the one for the individual.
Right.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
So now going back to what we were doing, Scott, and what we set up for yours, technically we could probably, if you don't have any individuals on your site that you want on the front facing side, we can almost make those selections. You can basically make that a pick of what logo they want. Because if you want the logo, we can just do the logo here, and then you just pick we just change that text to logo.
So we could literally just delete profile photo as one. They even have to add open they even have to add, right? We can just have it be profile image and profile logo.
Yeah, you can get rid of any of those three. So that, I mean, the top one, that one, or this one, you can all turn them off. Yep.
Cool.
So that's an option. So anyway, that's where that comes from. Any other questions on that?
So Ryan, can you go back to the image settings in the dashboard? So what is that profile photo social media that is a rectangle?
Well, this is for the photo, not the logo. So there's a profile logo logo social media.
What's the difference between like profile photo and then profile photo social media?
So what you can do is you can actually set this to be a max width for display, but you can make it bigger for display. It's kind of like what Scott was doing to trigger a better view, right? So this is limiting.
Like does one override the other? Like if you change something, I guess I'm trying to follow what goes where.
I think this changes what it shows up as. This one, it just shows a bigger picture on social media. I mean, that's a great question. I don't know.
Ryan, I think I figured that one out the other day. So if you go to the brand images page, that profile photo social media. Or maybe I'm thinking about default social media image. Oh, I'm thinking default social media image. The default.
I'm just wondering what this does. It sounds like it fixes the problem you're all talking about, but yet none of us seem to know what it is. Like where?
No, so here's the question. Here's the problem, though. So he wants to do this logo social media. I'm going to put. He wants 1200 by 600, right, or 628. It won't let you do that. It locks it down to what was it, 628, right? So you see how it maxes out. It won't let you put the higher numbers that he needs to trip what he was trying to do. So
again, I'm just trying to figure out. So when does the photo from profile logo social media, where is that picture going to go and what triggers it?
Size of the profile photos for social media sharing. Note the width and height must be set to 200 at a minimum.
So it's pulling that. It's basically got that bigger image in reserve. It's not showing that big of an image on your front page. It's just got that because it in the background. And so when you try to social share, it's going to pull that larger image.